Deathloop is a game that I did not think I was going to get into. Arkane's previous releases just never really clicked with me. But for whatever reason, because it was on sale, I decided to grab it anyways. And over the course of a couple days, I actually spent over 25 hours with the game. So, here's my review of Deathloop. Arkane games are a bit of a missing piece in my gaming background. When Dishonored first came around, I was captivated by its art style, reminding me very much of BioShock mixed with a little bit of Half-Life 2. But sadly, the gameplay itself relied so heavily on stealth that I just didn't really get into it the way I thought I would. I didn't even attempt Dishonored 2, and I only got like an hour into Prey, which I'm still partially bummed out about that it's not anything like 2006's Prey and just used the name for no reason whatsoever, but I'm not bitter. So when Deathloop was announced, it was basically put on the maybe I'll get to it someday, but only if I'm really bored pile. Luckily, it being 50% off on a Steam sale, it got me to give it a try, and once I started understanding what the game really was, I couldn't put it down. Let me say this up front, I hate time loop games, because it's the main gameplay mechanic and it's something I absolutely hate. Doing something I have already done over and over again. Deathloop is exactly that, dying and doing the same day over and over and over again. And it's a trope in games that have popped up so often in the last couple of years that I'm already way sick of it. Which is why I disregarded the game initially. The spin is where it really stands out from the other games in the genre, so here is a quick rundown of what the game really is. You play as Colt, a guy who washes up on the shore of an island called Black Reef. You have amnesia, because of course, and you don't know who you are or anything else. A girl named Juliana talks to you over a radio, and you learn that the island you're on repeats the same day over and over and over again. If you die, you wake back up on the beach, and you lose everything you've collected. However, you do retain information that you've learned, so it's up to you to find out how to break the loop. You do that by killing 7 special leader characters, called Visionaries, around the various maps and different times in the day, before it resets. Simple enough, right? However, Juliana is talking to you, giving you some information. She also hunts you down and kills you, resetting any progress you've made. And it's right there where I almost put the game down. When I originally started the game, I was having a lot of fun just taking my time, exploring the game, reading all the information, and just learning the layout of the levels. But Juliana would pop up into my game and kill me. And the game defaults to an always online connection, so other players can invade you and disrupt your game, which I can't stand. It really ruined the experience when I spend 45 minutes meticulously taking out an entire level and learning where the health and everything else is, just to immediately get gunned down by a sniper who's been playing the game every day for the last several months. Once I turn the game into single player mode, Juliana still shows up, but way less frequently, and usually isn't too difficult. The other thing that almost immediately turned me off of the game was the insane amount of menu tutorials and its layout right from the beginning. Starting the game, the first few times you open up the menu, you go through what feels like a novel worth of tutorials on how to navigate the menu and what everything does. It was so overwhelming right from the start of the game. Menus are usually easy enough to spend a couple clicks and read what everything says and understand it. You don't need thousands of words on the menu to tell me how to make an objective active. The objective menu is also something that I thought could have been done so much better. Each visionary, which is one of the leaders you must kill to stop the loop, has their own time schedule, and you can follow clues to bring them out, or you can bait them into scenarios to kill them. But the menu is laid out as a linear timeline, so it's hard to move around and find, and it just feels really odd. There must have been a better way showing me all the info and the different routes that I could bring them down. While it might sound like there's a lot of bad stuff about the game, there really isn't. I just feel like stating certain things that could have been done better, because I did notice it and it did hinder part of my playthrough. I feel the menu system and some of the other elements could have been streamlined, and I would have had a shorter playtime with the game and not feel like I was wandering aimlessly for a couple of loops, which equated to a few hours at least. Taking on the task of killing 7 visionaries in a single day, along with Juliana, who hunts Colt down as well, while not trying to die, and resetting the game, it felt like a monumental task that was going to take forever. And at certain points, when I realized I spent nearly an hour in a single map in the morning and then barely escaped, it felt like it was going to take forever. But with some perseverance, and once I got over the fact that dying doesn't really mean you lose all progress, I was able to lighten up a bit. Getting the proper weapons and learning where they are, and more importantly, when certain objectives happen, everything started to click into place, and I saw the game more as a clockwork set piece. The weapons also played a huge role in allowing me to feel properly equipped and powerful enough to take on the massive amount of enemies in all the maps. Each enemy has the opportunity to reset your progress, and when there are 12 surrounding you, and alarms going off, and there's more coming to where you're located, it was really handy to have a shotgun with 42 rounds, and equipped with upgrades to clear a path to get to safety. Following leads to acquire special weapons, and being able to bond those weapons and upgrades to myself to be able to keep on the loop after reset, it was invaluable. Once I got a nice shotgun that could continue being shot while reloading, and a super powerful sniper rifle, and that crazy shotgun I was just talking about, it felt like I could take on the world. I think what took me the most time to figure out was getting my mind to change and focus on a single task or objective, and then continue on until the day ended. I would constantly veer off path and try to clear out other objectives and run into issues where I wasn't able to get past it because I didn't start it from the beginning. Certain objectives have to be done in a certain order. Here's an example. You must save the masked salesman in the morning while one of the leaders is trying to kill him. If you save him, you have to come back to that level in the afternoon just to be able to get a mannequin head to use on a vending machine. Special tasks have to be done in a specific order and require much more planning, and that has to be in certain locations at certain times. It's just a lot to keep in your mind, and the game doesn't do the best job of keeping track of some of the more obscure stuff. I think the best way to play DeathLoop is to just follow its main objective. If you stumble on a new track, put it off until the end, because most of the random things don't actually reward you enough for the time invested. The main story is enough to hold the game up on its own, at least for 20-ish hours. So go ahead, play DeathLoop, and enjoy it, because it's a really good game.
Sounds like fun. On 3. 1, 2, 3.